10 years in Canada. Wow. So when I first started this series, I don't think that even I was ready for the emotional roller coaster that was going to come out of it. Just to take a look back at an entire decade of my life, like literally, I'm not talking about my entire life here in one decade. I'm talking about one decade out of my life. From the first days of not wanting to be in Canada to all the uncertainties to unlearning, relearning, to adapting, and all the way to the woman that I've become today. Honestly, it has been quite the ride, and I am very grateful for it. And here we are today on episode 10, the final series of my 10-year journey in Canada. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, 10 actually signifies or symbolizes completeness, divine order, and a new beginning. So I am very grateful to be here, and it really is a time of reflection, rest, and renewal for me. And I'll tell you all about it when we come back. So, the like I said earlier, 10 signifies completeness, 10 signifies a new beginning. And honestly speaking, right now, my life feels like a full circle moment, not an ending really, but a transition into something new. When I think about the woman that arrived in Canada 10 years ago, she was full of hesitations and dreams, but at the same time, she was full of goals and aspirations, desperate to rebuild her career, to make it, whatever make it means to everybody. And, I remember just really struggling so hard, trying to get into government, trying to really work hard and just really prove to myself that I can succeed, to prove that I belong, to prove that, whatever it was that I was trying to prove, quite frankly. And we've all been there. Some of us are currently there. You're trying to prove something to yourself, to those around you, that you made the right choice, that you made the right move, that it makes sense to be here. And maybe reality isn't matching expectations right now, but you're really just in the hustle trying to prove something to yourself and to those around you. And I've been there. All right, I've been there. Maybe you're also trying to, if you're like me, you're probably also chasing titles and six figures and all of that. And I get it. We want structure, we want stability, and maybe even a title that said that we've arrived, right? We all want that. But here's the twist. 10 years later, the very things that I wanted to pursue, I'm no longer in them. Ironically, I don't work for the government anymore. I resigned from that job. And if you're wondering what that is about and what that looked like, you can check out the video, because I'm also chronicling what my 10-year career journey has looked like. So if you feel like you haven't heard me talk a lot about career in this particular series, it's because I'm talking specifically about career on my business channel, because I'm a career coach. And so I just thought that sat better with that channel. So check it out. There's a link to that channel in the description, but you can also just search out the name and just look at this particular video in particular that talks about where I resigned from my government job, my permanent government job, why I did that, and what, how I got there, and what that looks like, and where I'm at right now. So yes, ironically, the very things that I chased, 10 years later, I find myself without a traditional 9 to 5 job. I find myself no longer working for the government. These were things I chased. I chased after these things, and 10 years later, here I am. And guess what? I've actually never felt a whole lot more aligned with my purpose, with my life, than now. It's weird, right? So because I was, what I saw once was an ending, stepping away from a structured career path, and what I thought was really moving from my dream job and all of that. It really was a reinvention that God was just putting me through. And now that I'm here, 10 years after, I recognize now more than ever that truly this is the beginning of a reinvention. So, yes, it's the beginning of a reinvention for me. All right, so let's talk about reinvention and what that looks like, and what that can mean. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details today about anything in particular, but really just to encourage someone that you will get to where you need to be. All right, you'll get to where you need to be. There is honestly hindsight, they say, is 2020. I'm looking back about how I stressed over certain things. Now I'm asking myself, what was all that stress for? Because believe me, it wasn't worth it. I mean, to some degree, it's good too, right? But for the most part, it really wasn't worth it. Um, but yeah, anyway, let me leave that there. Reinvention. It really isn't just about abandoning who you were, all right? It's about evolving into who you're meant to be next, because our lives are in seasons, our lives are in phases, and really it's just about evolving into the person you're supposed to become next. Over the last 10 years, I've worn many hats. I've worn newcomer hats, I've worn a student hat, I'm back to wearing a student hat right now. I've worn professional, I continue to wear a parent hat, I wear an entrepreneur hat, I wear a political leader hat, I wear community leader hat. And each of these phases, each of these titles, all of it has taught me a whole lot about resilience, faith, identity. I wear the hat of an author. Like, there are many things that I am, and sometimes when people ask for my bio, I get confused, and I tell them, "What's your program about?" And I can tailor my bio to yours. There's all these different dynamic hats that I've found myself wearing, or have worn, or having to wear. And each of it has taught me a lot about resilience, faith, identity. But this new chapter that I'm about to enter, I think the biggest lesson it's about to teach me is a whole lot on intentional living. Right? And for those who know me, I'm big on intentionality, but I don't think even I have really understood it to the depth that I'm seeing myself starting to understand it now. It's about intentional living. It's about aligning my voice, my work, my impact with what truly matters, right? It's about the purpose that I am continuing to live out. It's about the freedom that I'm getting from just being able to wake up and choose how I want to make impact, how I want to add to my world. And above all, it's about the legacy of what I want to leave behind when I leave this earth. All right. So the first 10 years, I believe, in Canada was really about building and laying certain foundations. And I think that the next 10 years is going to just be about me becoming more of, everything and who God has called me to be. All right. So, like I said, really, there's not a lot really in this. There is a lot that I'm seeing, but there's not a lot in the traditional sense of how all your other episodes have gone. Right. So, when I sit down and I reflect, and I've been doing a lot of deep reflection lately, and I really think about what the next 10 years could potentially hold. Like, I have to think about what the next 10 years would look like, and really just trying to envision what that would look like. Some of the things, I don't have all the answers, and to be honest with you, I feel like, and this is weird, this will be weird, but I'm in the place where, yes, I'm going to make plans about my life, no doubt, but I don't think I want to be as structured plan as I was 10 years ago, when I was just really putting a lot of structure and pen to paper about the things that I want to see happen in the next 5 years. Like, I mean, I still have a mental picture of certain things that I want to see in terms of the impact that I want to make in the lives of people, in terms of the places that I want to be, things that I want to build and all of that. I have all of those pictures. But that idea of trying to control everything, I think I'm letting go of that now, because there are some things that I know for sure, and there are some things that I just don't know. But I have the vision. I'm putting it all in God's hands, and I'm just gonna walk with Him to see where this all leads. But 10 years from now, I see that there's a season in my life where I become the parent of adult children. My children who were once little, 10 years from now, would actually be young adults stepping into their own journeys. And I want them to be able to look back and say, Mom didn't settle, she evolved, and we're proud of her for that, right? That she had the courage to pivot, to pursue impact over titles, to live out her calling, to live out her purpose authentically. That's something I want my adult children 10 years from now to be able to look at my life, to be able to look at me, and to be able to say of me. All right, so I'm really dreaming differently right now. I'm dreaming of work that transforms individuals and communities, of mentorship that empowers other newcomers, that empowers young adults, that empowers women. The kind of work that really restores the soul and creates impacts that will not leave me. That is what I want to focus on. And I don't have all the answers. I don't have what that picture looks like. Okay. We're going to go on that journey together, what that looks like. And maybe you're watching this and you're at your own crossroads, right? Wondering what's next. Something that I'm holding on to, I would like to share with you. And it's something that I've learned about this, is that reinvention, and I'm talking about this whole idea of reinvention, is that reinvention really is not a betrayal of your past, all right? And but rather it's a celebration of your growth. And one scripture that comes to mind is Isaiah 43:19, and this is, God was speaking to them through the prophet, and he said, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" There is something new that is coming. There is something new that is out there. There's a whole new season that you're about to get into. Don't fight it, all right? Just trust God with the process, and submit to the process that God is going to put you through, because God is always in the business of renewal. So for me, as I look back over the last 10 years, honestly, I'm filled with gratitude, not just for how far I have come, but for how much I've become. People, I have evolved. I know that I have evolved. Like, I know. I hear people tell me that. I see it in my own life. I see it in ways that I'm dealing, with people, even with myself, in the ways that I'm giving myself grace that I wouldn't do before. I'm seeing all of that, and I'm here for that journey. Honestly, truly here for that journey. Do I regret 10 years? Do I regret being in Canada? Absolutely not. Because like I said, I've just come to understand that God is very intentional with my life and my journey. And I've seen his hand through every single year of it. Every single year holds something very significant for me. And I don't think that that's coincidental. I am grateful that, I came here. I felt like my career was uncertain, but here I am today. I'm literally making choices that leave people in awe. Like, who walks away from a permanent government job? And you're like, I had a really good role, really great role. And I had really good pay too. Who walks away from all that? And for me, I remember when I handed in my resignation and my last day and I walked away, it was sort of, I remember a friend actually reached out and said, "Anita, you always said something," and I thought it was crazy, but now I get it. You always said you want to get to a point where you work, not because you have to, but because you want to. And I think that you just hit that spot. And she was right. And I don't think that even I realized it until she said it. And I think that I'm at the point where I can, like, just seeing myself empowered to make such a decision. Whew. It's a lot. There's no way you look back on that and you are not grateful, right? There's no way you look back on that, on a moment like that, and you are not grateful. And I'm going into my third year now without a traditional 9 to 5. And it's a whole new world, but it's an amazing new world that is unraveling itself to me. I have come in, and at the beginning, my marriage was shaky, but here I am this year. We celebrated 11 years in marriage, and it's getting stronger than ever, right? And again, you don't look back on things like that and not be grateful. And I've seen how moving to a new country tests people's marriages, tests the resilience of people's marriages. And I'm just thankful to God that somehow we made it through. I'm thankful to my husband that, he chooses to choose me. And I'm thankful to God for the grace to be able to choose him in return, right? And that has really just helped. I'm looking at my children and their lives and just how they're growing and evolving. And it really is only by the mercies and grace of God. Like, honestly, I think this is really just what it is. This is my gratitude journal, is what I think episode 10 really is for me. And I know I said it's reinventing myself, We're talking about reinventing myself, but I think that in the end, it really is just my gratitude journal. So to everyone, I just want to say that, this season really feels like a divine exhale. So it's a pause before the big unfolding. And I don't know what the big unfolding is, but I sense it in my spirit. And to everyone who has journeyed with me through these episodes, I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for reflecting with me. Thank you for being a part of my life. For everyone who has been a part of my journey in Canada, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say thank you, Canada, because it's one thing I would say that I would give to Canada. I'm gonna give Canada its flowers now. One thing I'll give to Canada for sure, that it's in Canada that I somehow found the courage to find my voice, especially when it comes to my personal story and journey with navigating child sexual abuse, suicide, depression, and all of that. Because it's in Canada that I finally wrote the book, and that was one of my life's dreams, was to one day share my story to inspire hope in others who have been through similar journeys like myself with child molestation and child sexual abuse. And actually, what many people don't know is that that's what I started my YouTube for. And I think that doing this series really just, like I said, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and it really just gave me something to go back to, right? And so I'm grateful for that. Canada, I'm grateful to you, because it's in you here that I found my voice to be able to put pen to paper and bring that dream to life. So, and it's also in Canada that I allowed myself embrace an entrepreneurial spirit fully, right? So I will give that one to Canada. You got this one. All right, so but thank you everyone who's been watching, who's been a part of my journey for the last 10 years. I'm grateful to have met you. And I mean everyone, literally everyone, the good, the bad, the hurtful, those who rejected me, those who accepted me, those who loved me, those who rejected me and then accepted me back, those who loved me and then ended up rejecting me, the whole lot, everything in between. Because every single person, I owe you thanks. You've all contributed to become to this woman that I have become today. So, and for those who are new, I want to encourage you, believe me, you'll get it. You'll get there. And my thoughts or final thought that I'll leave with you is something that I always say, which is treat your move to Canada like a blank slate. I keep saying that, and I stand by it with everything in me. Treat your move to Canada like a blank slate. Sit down and say, think about it like life has handed you another chance to rewrite your story. What would it be? When I started rewriting mine, I didn't think that it would be where it is today. But I look back and I realize, wow, all of this has gone into this book called Anita. So, rewrite your story. What would it be? Don't be afraid. Dare to dream. Dream big. What would it be? And then ask yourself, what is one step that I can take today and continue to take every single day towards becoming this person, towards achieving this goal? Take that first step and then continue and don't stop until you become that person, until you see that. Because here's what I know from my story is that in life, there's something they call unintended consequences. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes the unintended consequences turn out to be something good and beautiful. And believe me, you will find a lot of beautiful unintended consequences as a result of daring to redream again and take steps towards becoming that person that you dream to be. So I wish you all the best in Canada. And this is not the end of my channel, by the way. I talk about other stuff. I talk about faith. I talk about life in general. I talk about my journey just in general. And I will be starting a new series potentially, but stay tuned for that one. I will share with you. And thank you all so much. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Anita Diffie, and I'm glad to have you. And if you're not subscribed, or if you've been watching and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now and turn on that notification button so that you know every time there's a new video. I will see you soon. Take care now, and bye.